Good evening. Good evening. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Coming into coming onto the stream a little late tonight. I actually had to before I get on here and actually make these streams. I actually like to spend some time actually just studying and researching some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. I know some people just want to get on here and react without being informed, and no, that's not the best way to be. Always do your own research. Always make sure you are making informed decisions. And before you speak on something, make sure you know what you're talking about. Make sure you know what you're talking about. For those of y'all that missed it at the intro, I had another title card for well, let me see if I can play it again here. Can I play it again? Yeah, that's a new title card I just made. Hopefully soon I could get my homie Bronson and a few other people on with me, just so we could all sit down and talk about the stuff together. I know I'm not the most interesting person, so sitting here and listening to me talk about it might not be as fun. So, but we're going to get into it tonight, folks. As a lot of you know, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on out in the world, and it is pretty messed up. A lot of it is not cool. A lot of it is us really just showing how ugly people can be, not just to ourselves, but one another. Um, if you don't know, or if you've been living under a rock for the past few days, Charlie Kirk recently passed away. This how you guys know I'm not a professional. I'm like using my phone to keep track of any comments or whatever during the live feed. Okay, I'm good. All right. All right. We're good over there. Let me go ahead and share my screen. There. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you missed it earlier, I got a new title screen coming out. I'm about to play it right now. All right. All right. Okay. There's the share my screen button. You guys will have to excuse me. It's been a while, and I'm still getting used to some of this. I rechanged some of my computer setup, but let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me go ahead and start by getting this out the way. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I know a lot of people have just been being ugly and real nasty about his death, but rest in peace to him. Even if you don't agree with somebody, they shouldn't die. Like, I'm gonna be honest, some of you guys on here, I don't agree with everything y'all post or say, but I would rather you not get shot in the neck or get shot, period. So let's get that out the way. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Let's go ahead and get this news over with. Apparently, they caught the guy. Allegedly, they caught the guy. They say there's DNA evidence and other stuff like that. But let's go ahead and play the clip real quick.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Tyler Robinson, accused of gunning down Charlie Kirk, appearing in a Utah courtroom via video link for the first time since his arrest, nodding his head slightly as prosecutors said they would seek the death penalty. The 22-year-old charged with a slew of offenses, including aggravated murder, witness tampering, and commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. The conservative influencer killed by a single gunshot while speaking at Utah Valley University last week. Prior to the hearing, Utah County Attorney
As you guys noticed, they did not show the part where he actually got hit. They cut it out right because, like, literally right after he mentioned the gang violence, he was shot. So they cut that part out. Back to the video.
Attorney Jeff Gray outlining the case against Robinson.
After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police.
Gray adding Robinson.
Shout out to everybody tuning in. I know a lot of people have been mentioning this whole, like, he was like gay or dating a trans. God. You know, this is, and I know I'm smoking weed, but everyone that's smoking, let's all hit the blunt and ask this question. If you're dating a man that's transitioning to a woman, after he transitions to a woman, are you still gay? I know that's a dumb question, but it's one of those questions that makes you think, like, because I imagine he wanted to be with a man, or he tried dating a man because, you know, he wanted to be with a man. But if the man turns into a woman, you know, what is it? It's just like that South Park episode where you had the gay teacher. He turned into a woman, and then his lover was like, "Hey, you're not a woman you're not a man anymore. I wanted to be with a man, not a woman." Yeah. But back to the video. I'm getting sidetracked.
Disliked Kirk and texted his roommate saying, "I had enough of his hatred," and had a note in his home saying, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." It comes as we learn the suspect's mother told authorities she recognized her son from the surveillance images. And then she went to her husband. Prosecutors say the parents convinced him to turn himself in and then drove him to the sheriff's station themselves. Robinson's mother.
Okay, listen. I'm sorry, but am I the only one that kind of notices that, like, some of the most infamous shooters that we have dealt with throughout history? I'm not saying it's a white thing. I'm not saying, the Caucasian male is more prone to acts of violence. I'm not. I'm just saying. It's getting a little white in here, like the mass shootings, the school shootings. Like, what is with, these mass shootings? What is with these, sniper? I think was the DC sniper white? Hold on. I'm gonna have to Google that later, but let's finish this.
So describing a change in her son.
Shout out to everybody watching, by the way. Shout out to you guys. I know I'm not the most interesting person, but shout out to you anyway.
Over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views.
That roommate who shared those text messages with police is cooperating right now. Investigators are interviewing friends and family members of the suspect to better understand how and why it unfolded. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Okay. So, to the people that are about to just start drooling and going, you see, this is why the left is the problem. I'm going to go ahead and just remind everybody of my where my political stance is. I'm more centrist. I'm more of a libertarian, if anything. But you've heard me say this a couple of times. Left wing. Hold on. Well, this is my left, but it looks like my right hand. So excuse me. Left wing or right wing. It's the same bird. Just the same bird. So, and yeah, there are Nancy Pelosi's husband. I think he got assaulted. Double check something real quick here. So, oh yeah, Melissa Hortman. I wanted to say Hartman, but I had to get it right. Melissa Hortman, she was a Democrat, killed in her own home. The guy who did it, I think, was a MAGA supporter. MAGA, I don't know how you guys want to say it. MAGA. Yeah, he was taken. She was taken by the other side, and I noticed that they didn't really put as big of a media spin on it as this. Now, this was in public, so you had thousands of people as witness and bystander to this, so it's going to get more public attention. But yeah, there have been deaths, politically motivated deaths throughout our history of America. If you don't believe me, go open the textbook and yeah, like even back in the old, even the founding fathers days, the civil rights days, the civil rights and what was it, during the Civil War, there were a few politicians that died because of gun duels. Yeah, niggas. I know I'm using the N-word a lot. Excuse me. It's my vocabulary. I have a tendency to use it. But these were mostly white males. Just don't worry. I have a book called Everyone's a Nigga. I will explain why I just use the word freely with every race interchangeably. But yeah, you used to have guys literally say, you have offended me, line that shit up. We're going to have a duel like in the Westerns. And they would make 40 paces apart, turn, draw, pow, pow, shoot. Some of your politicians from back in the day were really about that life. And if you said something you were not supposed to say or said something to offend somebody, you may end up in a gun duel. Now, I don't think Charlie Kirk would have lasted long in those days either, because like I just said, you said the wrong thing. Somebody might challenge you to a gun duel. And well, I mean, you could always just not show up. There have been stuff like that, but then you usually get a bad reputation. Now, to change gears a little bit, in my honest opinion, and I'm not saying this is like a Harvey Lee Oswald situation, a James Earl Ray situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up those names. Harvey Lee Oswald, I think that's the guy that shot Kennedy, allegedly shot Kennedy. Conspiracy theories behind that. And James Earl Ray, the guy that shot Martin Luther King. You can say it's a coincidence that they have three, James Earl Ray, Harvey Lee Oswald. Like, Coincident they have longer, more, you actually say all three parts of their name. Coincidence? Maybe so. But anyway, there are some people online saying like, hey, this is another one of them possible situations where the person they give us is just a fall guy. Yeah, some people are saying the evidence is planted, all this stuff is way too coincidental. And because even when you hear about it, just like, listen, I listen to the news, I watch the news, I do it so I can stay informed on what's going on, which leads me into a whole nother thing later on where we're going to in this podcast tonight. But I stay just informed or just involved into the news and politics so I know what's going on. I am a centrist. I don't get wrapped up too much in what either side is doing, because then you become blind and you get kind of like tunnel vision, or you get stuck in an echo chamber where you're just listening to what you want to listen to or what you want to believe. And it kind of stagnates you mentally in a way. So I try to, I listen to Democrats and Republicans when they speak. I fuck with Bernie Sanders. He'll pull up right now. I'll pass him the blunt. I'm cool with Bernie. I saw the photos of him marching with Martin Luther King. You see MLK and then Bernie way back there. Like, hey, mom. Oh, why Bernie Sanders was back there waving to his mom. Telling, hey, mom. Oh, Bernie. And yeah, I'm cool with I'm cool with some of the Republicans and what they're saying. I didn't agree with everything, Charlie Kirk said. Mainly my biggest gripe was the black pilot comment he made, saying that he hoped the black pilot was qualified. Like, listen, just to go through pilot school itself, it costs. You got to pass tests and stuff like that. Now, if he wants to say, well, more and more of our tests and things like that are becoming curved, because even my generation, I remember in high school, if like enough of the kids did bad, they just curved the test and rounded up to like the nearest, I think 10th. So if you got like a 68, they would round you up to a 70, basically. So they turned a D plus into a C minus, basically. So yeah, I'm not saying that this is, a cover up or some type of deep state conspiracy where they got some young white guy to be the fall for, their propaganda or their agenda, because it's just too perfect. Like, he's like 20 something, young in college, he's exploring himself sexually, he's dating a guy that wants to be a woman. It's a hot mess, really. I can see why him and his dad may have been beefing a little bit, because like, yeah, son, what you doing? Like, no. And then another thing people were saying, it was just the shot. Like, was he really skilled enough to make the shot? And I would say, yeah. Depend, because from how the news media and all the different outlets describe his family, his dad's a regular, he goes hunting, law-abiding citizen. And, obviously, you take your son to shoot with you when you're going hunting once he becomes of a certain age. So this boy could have been, I can't even call him boy, he's like over 21, I believe now. So this man could have literally spent a decade, worth of shooting practice, even if you go hunting, not every weekend, but just going hunting once a month, and if you've never been hunting, all right, guys, go hunt, and see how good of a shot you are. And then 3 years later, come back and compare and see how good of a shot you are compared to 3 years ago. I guarantee you'll be a better shot. If you just go to the gun range for 3 years, you will be a better shot than the day you walked in there. So, I mean, hey, if it is a cover up, it's like the perfect cover up. He has the years of like hunting with his dad. It's like the perfect fall guy for the situation. If it is a conspiracy, I'm not saying it is. I personally don't believe it is. Yeah, certain things are a little bit too convenient, but I won't say this is a government conspiracy. Now, was there a previous government conspiracy going on with Epstein? Yes. Everyone at home, please don't forget about Epstein. Make sure you talk to your local senator or state representative. We got the senators and representatives. Make sure you talk to your senators and representatives. Don't let them forget about Epstein. We want to know because there were people, we want to know about the flight logs. We want to know about, was it the Black Book? Yeah, we want to know about the Black Book. We know there's one. And, yeah, it's crazy. Because I wasn't expecting, it to be this. Yeah. Hold on, let me rewind it back. Let me see if I can rewind it. Boom. This look like a kid you went to high school with. You went to high school with him. Let me see if I can find another. Man. Now look at him. Straight military. And it's not funny because, I mean, he literally threw his life away. I don't care how much you hate somebody. I don't care like how much you disagree with their political views. It's not worth killing somebody over. Like, it's not. Let's see if I can find. I'm trying to find the shooter fit he had on. Let me not call it a fit. The shooter fit. And I'm gonna just go ahead and ask, what is up with security? Why, like after Trump nearly got his ear blown off, why have we not taken better security measures or better steps and I get it that he's not like the president or nothing like that, but you mean to tell me like, because I know there had to be some form of security. There had to be some form of security. You mean to tell me no one was like, hey, let's get at least one rooftop person or two, maybe one or two rooftop personnel. But yeah, like, hey, listen, if you got buildings over 3 or 4 stories, hey, I mean, you got room to practice. Grab your little paintball guns. Let me stop. I'm not encouraging any. I'm not encouraging any acts of violence or vandalism. I mentioned paintball guns. I've seen 8 Mile. Don't, because somebody's gonna be stupid and go shoot up a cop car with paintballs, and they're gonna be like, "Well, I saw Malcolm, and he was like." No, I don't condone any acts of violence or vandalism. But yeah, let's get back to the shooter fit. Like, no offense, if I was security that day, I would have stopped him just off the strength. Just like, bro, why you got a hat on with long sleeve, just a black long sleeve shirt itself? Like, yeah, I know you hot. And it's in Utah too. Yeah, I know you hot, bro. Where you going?
Suspect's mother told authorities she recognized her son from
Says she recognized. Well, it's the fit. but but you gotta give it to him, like, shades, hat on, like.
His mother told authorities she recognized her son from the surveillance images, and then she went to her husband. Prosecutors say the parents convinced him to turn himself in and then drove him to the sheriff's station themselves.
And what's crazy, you guys notice he's doing his best to not really make his face as visible. Granted, I mean, he's there to try to assassinate somebody, so he's trying not to be seen. But yeah, like, we don't even get a good, clear facial shot of him. Let me bring it back. Bring it back right here. Like, his hair almost seems curly. But then again, he got a hat on. And then, black shirt, long sleeve. It's hot out. And you got a backpack on. And what they say was a bust down rifle. I know that's not the proper technical term, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's one of them rifles. It's collapsible, or you could take it apart, put it back together. It's one of those, like, it's very portable. But yeah, going up to the roof, I guess, just like that. But yeah, there should have been rooftop security, most definitely. Parents convinced him to turn himself. See, it's like, bro, you can be violent and shoot somebody, but when your parents come and say, Todd, your mother and I think you need to turn yourself in. This is not good. This is not good, son. This will not end well. He turned himself in. Like, hold up. Because what's his name? Rich Patel, Cash Patel, and the FBI, they had two. I misspoke. They took in 2 people into custody, released both of them. They weren't the runs. And then we get this one over here. His parents just talk to him like, son, you need to turn yourself in. He done shot somebody all, like, from across campus somewhere, but his parents can sit him down and say, son, you need to turn yourself in. Like, and the story is, in the last year, his parents have been noticing him. He's been changing. He's not acting the same. He's dating a man that wants to be a woman. Like, just language warning. If you got kids listening, get them out the room. This shit is crazy. Wait, like, come on, man. Like, why you want to go shoot the guy? You got your whole life ahead of you. Why you want to go shoot from across campus at that? Why you want to go shoot somebody from across campus? All because you don't like what he said. Just leave campus that day. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm gone. I'm finna go take. Oh God, I'm not. But it's just the idea of it. Like, why don't you go take your, boyfriend / girlfriend? I don't know. Whatever, he or she identifies as. Why don't y'all go, do a movie date or something? Get off campus. Get away from it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If a white supremacist rally just popped up in the middle of nowhere around me, like, what's like, if I'm in downtown Fort Pierce and a white supremacist rally just pop up, I'm just gonna go. personally, I don't feel safe being, around that type of environment anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna just go because I don't want to hear what you guys got to say. Yeah, I've seen them KKK documentaries, and yeah, you will be amazed in the ways a white person can rhyme the N word with something else. They really should be rappers. I ain't gonna lie. The the main speaker at a KKK rally can be a rapper if he wanted to be. Trust me. They'll rhyme so many different words with you, you'll never knew. Bars. That was unintentional, but I'm counting those bars. But let me transition over to this joke over here. I had shared this earlier, but for those that didn't see it, this is Chris Rock.
Look at this, the white people up top tonight. You know, I was just in my hotel a little while ago on my way here, and
shout out to everybody watching. I know it's late and y'all probably got something better to do, but shout out to y'all. Thanks. I appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe if you want to. If you don't, then another Quaalude. You'll be watching tomorrow. I'm sorry. I was watching Scarface earlier. I'm probably going to say that Quaalude line for at least 3 more days after. But back to the joke.
I got in the elevator, right? I'm getting in the elevator, and these 2 high school white boys tried to get on with me. And I just dove off. I said, y'all ain't killing me.
It's not funny. But again, if we go back and look at the mass shooters, school shooters, there's some Asians. You get the occasional Hispanic. There's, I think, a handful of blacks. Because, I mean, certain shootings, they don't classify as mass shootings. But, yeah, right. If you spin the block and shoot up a block party, I consider that a mass shooting. Like, that is a mass shooting. You just spun the block on a whole block party. That's block on block violence. Get it? Block on block. Okay. Forgive me. Dad jokes. I'm still developing them.
I am scared of young white boys. If you white and under 21, I'm running for the hill.
And the guy's literally around the age of 21. This is an old comedy special, by the way. I think this was like 1999, maybe around 2001 when he did this comedy special. So it's right around like that Columbine, in between Columbine and Virginia Tech. And God knows how many other school shootings in between. Rest in peace, that. Jesus, I'm getting touched up a little bit because I don't like the idea of talking about it and joking because people will be like, Malcolm, you're so insensitive. But like, I feel the pain. Like, I've done papers on Columbine. I know about the Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Sandy Crane. I forgot the name of the school exactly. But yeah, like this is a real legit problem we are having every day. This mental health or whatever you want to call it stuff is real. People are just crashing out for whatever reason. People are crashing out, and it is very bad. It is like destroying us. So you could say it's the left or the right. Like, listen, leave the politics at home. I know I've been, kind of making my white jokes about white boys shooting up the school. We listening to Chris Rock, but we are legit having a issue with people just crashing out. We got schizophrenics walking the streets. They can't afford the proper treatment. You got people on all types of drugs, messing up their brains, like frying them like eggs. It's a very serious issue, and I don't know how to fix it. So I won't preach because I don't have the solution. I will say we have a problem because, yes, we do have a problem. Like, we should not have as many mass shootings.
What the hell is wrong with these white kids shooting up the school? They don't even wait till 3 o'clock either. Killing people in the morning, that ain't right.
It's not funny, but the fact the joke was like, this joke was over a decade ago and it still hits today.
That trench coat mafia. No one would play with us. We had no friends in the trench coat mafia. Hey, I saw the yearbook picture. It was 6 of them. I ain't have 6 friends in high school.
Okay. I will admit this. I will admit this to this day, because in middle school, this is exactly true. All the emo / hot topic kids all sat together. And I specifically would occasionally go and just sit and say hey to everybody. Because in the back of my mind, I said, one of y'all motherfuckers is going to crash out. And I want to be able to get away, because I remember in the Columbine documentary, they specifically say there's one friend that, you know, before they pop off, they like, hey, just get out of here and go home. Yeah, I want that to be me. Before it pop off, I want you to see Malcolm and be like, you know what, Malcolm, don't get in the middle of this today. Don't get in the middle of this today, Malcolm. Just go home. And I will run as fast as hell. If I walk into school one day and my friend says, you know what, Malcolm, just go home today. It's not a good idea to be here. I will run out of that school so fast. Like, Usain Bolt will have to call me and say, hey, man, hey, line that shit up, man. You disrespecting me. Because, yeah, I will run out of that school expeditiously.
I don't got 6 friends now. Shit, that's 3-on-3 with a half court.
This might be one of the most important scenes in the entire Godfather trilogy.
Oh, stop it right there. Oh shit, we got a Godfather video. I'm sorry. I like the Godfather. I literally have a projector in my living room. I love it so much. Yeah, let me get out of here before they sue me for showing the Godfather logo. In other news, yeah, we got to talk about the Ukrainian woman that got stabbed. Or as they say in the islands, juka. No, you know, I don't mean to be funny or make jokes, but that's literally what they call it. You get juka. I guess in the UK they call it chefing. You get chef up. But outside of the mass shooting issue, I guess it overall just leads into the other point. We got too much crime going on. Everybody's crashing out, popping off about something. What I was saying earlier about the schizophrenics walking the streets. Let me go ahead and play this video real quick.
There's growing outrage today over the brutal murder of a beautiful 23-year-old waitress on a commuter train. The accused killer has a history of violence and mental illness, yet was free on no cash bail.
Here are the facts that many outlets have shamefully and intentionally.
First off, I hate no cash bail. Anytime I had to bail somebody out of jail, cash. I want my money back. If they ever pass no cash bail in the state of Florida, I want my money back. And I'm sorry if there's like a weird resonance or like echo going off. I got some guitars over here hanging up on the wall, and I'm still finding out that my voice vibrates the inner acoustics of the guitar somehow. I think that's kind of cool, but back to the video.
They failed to report until President Trump drew attention to it.
Disturbing surveillance video shows Irina Zarutska, a refugee from war-torn Ukraine who sought peace and safety in the USA, stepping onto the train after finishing her shift.
Hey, listen, when they find photos, I mean, man, listen, no matter how they want to sell it or pitch you the narrative, they will find a good photo. They're going to find a good photo for you. They're going to find a good photo.
At a pizza restaurant. In the seat behind her is 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown. Watch as he slowly opens a pocket knife, then stands and without warning plunges the knife into his victim in an unprovoked attack.
1, 2, 3, 4, like 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. Like, and that, and I'm gonna let y'all know something, folks, because you know I've had people steal from me and stuff. I've had wrong done to me, and I have done wrong. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm a saint. I have done wrong too. So karma does exist. But if you get stabbed around 5, 6 other people and no one notices or does anything, that should tell you something. 1, before you ever call someone else self-absorbed, think about it. Now, on the flip side, because I'll try to rationalize this in a way, I don't want to get stabbed neither. So if I don't have a weapon or anything to try and defend myself, I'm kind of, if I notice that, I'm kind of like, you know, I don't know what to do. I'll probably say the most effective thing would to do is just to say, hey, he's got a knife. And, you know, once everyone on, you know, the cart or the, you know, bus or whatever's riding knows, then we can, I guess, either gang up and overpower him, or, you know, somebody could possibly have a weapon and then they could, you know, do something. You know.
He strides away, and at first, even Irina doesn't seem to realize how badly wounded she is, but her life is ebbing away. We spoke with WSOC TV reporter Hunter Sines.
It's surreal that this was so.
Yeah, if you want to watch the actual video, I don't know what, go to Twitter or X, whatever you young folks are calling it nowadays. I don't know what the young folks call it. Go to X or Twitter if you want to see the uncut version of that. I don't want to see it. I'm Gucci.
Random of an act and so blatant of an act. And when you see that video, I think every one of us who use the light rail system say it could have been us sitting in that seat.
The video is catching the attention of President Trump.
A beautiful young girl that never had problems in life.
She was a refugee. She had problems, sir. Like, she had to flee her home country. Shout out to everybody watching real quick. Sorry. I know I said that like 4 times, but I got to say shout out. Trying to keep track and keep up my engagement. But yes, Mr. President, I understand you have to do what you need to keep up appearances, but this woman had a very she had troubles in her life. So unfortunately, due to ineffective at the time, this sneeze oh, that's how you know it's real. Coming to you live. Sorry. I don't think you're going to catch COVID through the speakers. Yeah. Funny story. I was literally at passing Staples the other day when I went out to eat with my girlfriend and her son. And there was literally a Staples right there. And I'm like, is there anything I need out of Staples? And I said, nah, I'm good. Guess what I'm missing? Some tissues right next to my desk. That's what I'm missing. But anyway.
With a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead.
This story has trickled up from local news to social media and now to the president's attention. And it's being used as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments.
Brown had been arrested 14 times and had served 5 years in prison for armed robbery. His mother says he's schizophrenic. Irina escaped the war in Ukraine in 2022 with her family. She loved animals and was working in a pizza parlor, hoping to put herself through college and become a vet. The city council is beefing up security on their light rail system in the wake of the murder.
Got it that time. I did a lot better at that. I did better at the transition that time. A little bit. But I hope y'all heard what Mr. Trump said. She had a bright future in this country, and now she's dead. Y'all have to excuse my Donald Trump impersonation. I literally just sneezed. I guess I got some allergies flaring up this past couple days. I have been sneezing a lot more, but the part I want to emphasize is what he said about coming to this country and having. I know recently with all these issues going on with immigration and stuff like that, I want everyone at home to think about something. Whether you're Italian, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Jamaican, Bahamian, Haitian, Nigerian, the list is infinite. Polish, the list is infinite. Our ancestors, from one way or another, decided that, hey, coming to America was a good choice, and we wanted to build something here. Now, for all my homies across the border, yes, just do it the legal way. Don't buck the system. Don't just do it the legal way. Yes, I know immigration sucks, and like many of our systems, from the education system to our infrastructure systems, a lot of it needs to be overhauled, but do it the legal way. Go through the process, submit the paperwork. Because I do not wish for anyone to be forcibly taken from their home in the middle of the night. I do not wish for no children to be taken from their parents and separated. So the best advice I could give to anyone is just try to follow the law and stay out of trouble. If you can do that, and I would say that's probably the most biblical, safe approach there is. Because, even Jesus said that where you roam, obey the laws and respect them. So if you roam into America, laws say if you ain't legal, go, come here, get the paperwork, get all that, set that up. Then, come back, later after, you return, get, a little bit more money up. Because, I got a homie that I work with. He does that all the time. Comes here, he works, but every now and then he goes back home to Mexico. He's trying to build a home and stuff over there, try to get it together. And, there are many people trying to get it the legal way. And yes, it is slow, it is tedious, and it downright sucks. But like many systems in effect within our government today, it needs to be overhauled. We need to, hopefully Doge can still do something good out there, not just, cut jobs. And like I said earlier, I am more of a centrist. I am more of a libertarian. I believe in smaller government. Now, yes, I am aware of the drawbacks that come with smaller government and reduced government involvement. But at the same time, it really allows us as not just individuals, but as citizens and legal voters to hold our elected officials accountable. As we literally saw a man that could have been possibly in well, and let me say this, Charlie Kirk was not an elected official, but political speakers, influencers, lobbyists, when you brush shoulders with politicians, you are in effect, what does it say, guilty by association, I would say. I don't know if that's the exact phrase I want to use, but I'll use that phrase. He was guilty by association. Somebody felt so adamant against what he believed that he decided to take his life. And not only that, but effectively end their own life, because, what we really going to do after this? Just live a normal life? No. Now I'm, like I said earlier, I'm still kind of feeling some type of way about Cash Patel, and how you guys took in two other people when they weren't the shooter, and then this guy's mom and dad just say, all right, Bobby, we're turning you in. Get your shoes on, Bobby. We're turning you in. Okay, Dad. Like really? I mean, he's a 10 out of 10 on the crash out meter, but that was so anticlimactic. You just shoot a man and your parents tell you it's time to turn yourself in. Very anticlimactic. Yeah, man. Burn my fingertips. I can't keep hitting that. Shoot. I can't lie, folks. Sitting here just going through all this violence. Like, this is why I don't watch the news as much as like my dad used to. Like, my dad religiously would sit there, he watched the news, and I think C-SPAN. That's like the one channel where you can watch like the actual representatives and senators talk when they're in Congress and stuff. And it was completely boring. I would look at him and be like, Dad, why do you even watch this stuff? And he'd be like, oh, you know what they're talking about, so you know what's going on. And I'd be like, okay, I guess. But now I actually see some of the wisdom in it. Let's go over here to Memphis.
According to Memphis police, 7 shootings have been reported since last Friday morning. One incident leading into a homicide in South Memphis, but it's one shooting incident that happened during broad daylight Saturday morning that has some Memphians wondering if the National Guard will make any real change. A shooting in broad daylight.
There go the YNs. Here they come. It's not funny, but at the same time, like, it's Memphis. Like, but yeah, you know they YNs. You know that, well, they might be some. Yeah, I'm 30 now, so I have to ask myself, well, I'm not a YN. So I'm I mean, it's not a good, but yeah, you know, you got YNs and unks hopping out of the cars in broad daylight, getting busy.
Near A.W. Willis Avenue and Front Street in downtown Memphis Saturday morning
has
some
rolling.
City residents wondering if the National Guard coming will
Draco?
change the city's crime reputation.
No, it ain't gonna bring the change that we need to see.
Hold on. First off, was the car still rolling? And is that a Draco? Yeah, the car. The car's still rolling. Hold on. It's not funny, but hold on.
A.W. Willis Avenue and Front Street in downtown Memphis Saturday morning
Okay,
has some Bluff City residents wondering if the National Guard coming will change the city's crime reputation.
No, it ain't gonna bring the change that we need to see, but it might help with the crime a little bit. But change, it's gonna take more than.
Listen, man, he put that thing in neutral, let it roll, hopped out, and got the shit. It's not funny. The violence is not funny, but it's just the way the violence is committed that it's not funny.
The police to come down here for to change the city.
We're going to Memphis.
Since
We're going to Memphis. But no, like seriously. For one, if the National Guard does deploy in all these cities like Trump has been wanting to, think about it. For one, everybody that signed up for the National Guard, get ready for your paycheck. You're about to get your paycheck. If you enlisted in the National Guard, I know you're at home like, yeah, we ready. We about to go. Any day, Mr. President, we ready. And it's like, dude, all you got to do is ride through. Ride through. Because, like, let's be honest, ain't nobody going to be stupid. Ain't nobody going to be stupid. Them bullets going to bounce off them armored, with all-terrain vehicles, armored UAVs, or whatever they got. Like, yeah, them 380s, them 9s, them 22, yeah, all that stuff gonna bounce off. Or, they got the right firepower for you. So you definitely ain't gonna be hopping out and doing stuff like that with the National Guard driving around. No. And yes, I know just like the police, the National Guard can't be everywhere. But the local police, because think about it, your police already got like an armored, like SWAT style division or whatever like that whenever they got to do major busts. So imagine them working in tandem with the National Guard and, you know, the regular cops. And then that means the sheriff too, because, you know, you got sheriffs in on it. So you got SWAT, local PD, sheriff, Coast Guard, because I mean, why not? Let's get the Coast Guard in on it too. Like, yeah, you know, they got something to do, I guess.
President Trump uttered these words on Friday. According to Memphis police, 7 shootings were reported. In 3 of those cases, MPD made an arrest. One resulted in a homicide. Memphis resident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw this. This was a video that went viral a couple days ago. I saw that red truck. They shot up the truck. There was a whole lot of stuff that went down. This, you know, same thing with Chicago. Before Trump started talking about the National Guard coming in and all this stuff, you had like 16, 17 shootings in one weekend. Like, yeah, and I don't know how many, you know, I don't know how many fatalities there were, but, you know, think about it. You know, that's like 8 shootings a day on the weekend. You got kids trying to play outside, and same thing with was FBG Duck. You know, it don't matter where you at, even in the upscale downtown or nice areas in Chicago, you can, you know, your card can get punched. I will say that. I don't. Oh, let me. I had some wooden accents on my desk, so I had to, you know, you got to knock on wood. I got some wooden accents and stuff on my desk, so I can knock on those. But yeah, like the violence across the country is getting to a point where like, yeah, the National Guard is becoming a viable option. Because if you guys don't remember what happened back in the days during the LA riots, or the Watts riots, the Watts riots and stuff like that, the National Guard will get called in if situations get too extreme, or like the George Floyd riots for the younger folks. I keep forgetting I'm in my 30s now, so I gotta dial back my events, like when I try to reference certain events. But let's finish up. I got one last thing I want to get into here, and it's probably like the most fun thing to talk about.
Memphis resident Asaya Cobb claims the shooting incident on Saturday morning will continue with or without troops being deployed to the area.
I do feel like crime happens everywhere, but I just think it was crazy that it just happened in broad daylight like that. And I think these are target shootings, not just going on a rampage on people.
Jewel Simpson, a lifelong Memphis resident, believes the troops coming to Memphis is a waste of financial resources.
I don't think that it's actually about trying to help Memphis at all. I think that it's posturing and bullying, and it's completely unnecessary.
Again, MPD has made 3 arrests in the 7 reported shootings since last Friday. Police will continue searching for those suspects from Saturday's shooting. In downtown Memphis, I'm Desmond Nugent, ABC.
Well, you heard it from the people themselves. You know, I mean, me personally, I feel like it just, having the National Guard in town just acts as a deterrent. It stops the more violent acts from happening in a more broad day setting like that. Because You know, you got an armored truck rolling down the street. You know, it's intimidating, makes you not think about probably doing something right now. Same thing with the police. Like, I would say this. If you converted the National Guard, I would say this. If the National Guard personnel instantly just transferred over into your local police department, your actual police department would have enough personnel to actually be on the street and keep the city safe. That's just my belief. I haven't done any quantifiable research or testing or crunched numbers on that, but I would say this. There are enough Army Reserve and National Guardsmen that if they were to instantly just be transferred into local police law enforcement, to local law enforcement, you would notice an increase in police officers riding around. There would actually be more detectives. There would also be more forensic and SWAT agents as well, you know, for the SWAT team, especially the I think what do they call it? Combat engineers. Yeah, combat engineers. I think that's the title of it. The MOS in the Army, especially them, because they love to kick in doors and make stuff go boom, all that action-packed Rambo stuff. Now, the last thing we will talk about today. Aliens, my favorite topic. See, you know, we done talked about a whole lot of shooting and stabbing and death. Now we get to end on something nice, aliens. No, I mean, it's not really nice. You know, the world's going to hell. We're going to war with it. Seems like there's war all the time, everywhere. We got beef with Venezuela popping off, ships in the water, about to be boots on the ground, I guess. You got war again in the Middle East after we just got, but you know, it never really was out. Mob ties, mafia, you know, mafia type shit. But yeah, let's get into this report.
I want to queue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe, this was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone. And so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
Okay. So for y'all that didn't quite see that clearly, I'm gonna rewind it. But basically, they just hit that thing with a missile. A couple pieces of it broke off, but still kept like flying in air. We legit had flying I don't know how to explain that. It's raining, Florida. Rewind this back, please. All right, they got it on target. About to shoot the missile. Pop. 1, 2, 3, and they flying. They still going with it. Oh, there it is.
This is when it zoomed out. So you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, do you have you heard about, events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
what
again,
flies like that?
again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information consistently?
Yeah, I got that. Wind that back. One more time. They locked in. Finna bust off. Damn, it's raining hard as hell outside. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think I'm good. Just making sure I have my windows up. So, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up, folks. I've been at it for a good hour. Shout out to everybody that tuned in with me. I appreciate you guys for watching. Yeah, the government's been, covering up these videos about aliens. They've had a couple of them now. There was one I saw a few years back. It was like I think I got a video of like the alien congressional committee they did some years back, because they did actually come to Congress with videos and stuff like this. But yeah, they have events like this happening, and they have had documented evidence of it for a long time. Like they said, the public is suppressed from knowing these things, and why they want to keep it from us, I don't know. But yeah, that thing took a Hellfire missile and kept going. Some people want to say, oh, it's the Russians. It's not. It is not. Because think about it. Like right now in China, they have buildings collapsing due to shoddy construction and poor building materials. Could they really develop something this advanced? It took a Hellfire missile and kept going. It kept going. The pieces went with it. It's not natural, man. But let me get out of here before I spend all night ranting about aliens. Thank you guys. I appreciate you for coming through. One love.